Okay. That's nice. So, you do know that you'll be actually designing both web and mobile app. So, that's why from today would start on mobile app. We'll start on mobile app and then we'll see how we can dive into web. How many designers are you on your team?
Okay, on my team we have three designers and three
Digital
um
testers.
yes, making us a total of six.
So that means you all know that one person would face one, the next person face the other one, and then the next person helps to do every other thing. All right. I love you guys' idea. Right? It's nice the agricultural part of it using herbs to treat. So nice one. Have you guys thought of a name for it? So we would use the name to remember.
Yes, that's one of the meeting after this class. We'll
You have a
meet.
mate.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll have a meeting exactly.
All right, so thank you. Any other group that we want to share your group idea? So there's no other group that wants to send it.
Good morning, house. Good morning.
Yeah.
Uh, please, we were just assembled yesterday, and we've not been able to get across to one member out of our group member. So, though we've already been collating ideas, but we've just not finalized the one that we are going to. So, we don't want to go behind his back and not carry him along. So, we have one member that we've not been able to reach. I tried reaching him this morning, yesterday afternoon. I still couldn't get across to him. So, please, I don't know if we can get a little bit time. So the other group member said we should chill for him so that we can carry him along and we can be on the same page. So it seems he's busy, but I've not been able to reach him. I even called his line directly. So please, I don't know if we can get a little bit of timing. I don't know if it's okay, man.
Okay, so that means you guys are five already on your team.
Yeah, we are five, group 13.
All right, so right, it's a group work. You can't keep waiting for one person. So let's assume that the one person is not even active. So after you wait for him, he's not active. So you guys can go on. So you
All
know
right.
it's majority, right? Majority. So what you
Okay.
can do is you decide amongst yourself, five person, come up with project and just relate to him when you're able to reach out to him. So he
All
doesn't
right.
have he cannot come and say, no, we don't have to do this, we have to start from everything. So do your planning, do your thinking, just relate to him and that.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Abiodun, how about you? Your team members, you guys have not met yourself?
Okay, good morning, ma. Can you hear me, ma?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we've had, I think we had three meetings yesterday, but then
Ah,
honestly, and that's because like the other guy said, we are six in our group, but then one of the girls has not been available, so we already carried on with the whole thing, but then we've not been able to. We've been, bringing out ideas, but we're looking at the future of what we are building. So the first one that we actually talked about was building this app whereby you get to like know how electricity is being, the rate at which you use your electricity at home, the rate at which you use your appliances, what the major appliances that probably affects more, that takes more light, let me put it that way. So then someone in my group said, it's no that someone said the future is kind of, because that's the major reason why the government had to bring in prepaid to reduce blast. He just said it, but then we understood where he was coming from, so we had to like you know drift away from that idea. Then someone brought up another idea about going to the market to from this person now is from digital marketing department. So she said we should have this app whereby you can go to the market from your phone and she also mentioned quite a lot of things, but then we've not been able to. We are still looking at the future because we don't want to build any, even if it's going to be complex or simple. We want it to be like the Eco Connect. That's that's what we're actually looking at. So, but then we have meeting after this class. We are going to finalize everything today, and of course. But then I want to know, I want to know when we are to submit the idea.
Okay, I know they showed or they gave you the date.
Yes, they gave us a date, which is yesterday. But then I don't know. She said something on the group chat, and so I don't understand. She said something as regards an holiday, and we can just, I don't know,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe.
they're something for the day today. So I think from sorry, I said today from tomorrow. So
Okay.
I think let me read what she said. So I think they can give you guys till this till 30th. I'll confirm, right?
All right,
But
all right.
you guys need to just be fast. So Boluwatife, you said you do not have any group. Now that's the issue, right? Sometimes when they say I've worked here before, so I understand and I know what it is like to always go back to the group. They say, okay, fill in this form. Most persons won't fill it. Most persons will leave it. They'll just ignore it. And then when the grouping has been done, you see people coming back to say, I don't have group and all of that. You know that you filling the form is what will make us see that you are active. So that form, there's a way they share it. They'll be like, okay, this person's. But when you don't fill the form and you come back later on, I think she also gave opportunity for people to fill it again. And she grouped those set of people. So check the list again, check the list to see if your name is there because I think they've done regrouping. But if you can't find your name, that means you did not fill the form. That you need to go back and fill that form before you can get a group. So Boluwatife, confirm if you filled the form and you still did not have a group.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, ma. I'm sorry, the network was skipping the other time, but I heard my name.
You're Boluwatife.
Yes, I am Oluwatife.
Okay, you said you don't have a group.
Yes, I do not have a group.
That's what I'm asking. Have you filled the form? Did you fill the form that they said you should fill? One
On,
assessment form.
on Tuesday.
Yeah, they sent out the form for people to fill. Did you fill it?
I wasn't present on Tuesday physically.
So it was not physically. They sent it on the WhatsApp group chat.
No, I did not fill the form.
Okay, that's why you don't have a group. So kindly fill that form. And please, someone can just if you have access to the form, you can forward it. So that you can fill the form. Once you fill the form, post it on the just tag Next Factory Foundation. Tell them that you filled the form and you should add you to a group before the end of today.
Thank you so much. Please, someone should help me.
Please, if you have access to the form, you can just forward it.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any other person that wants to talk about their team, or let's just move on? So I'm just going to.
Okay, okay,
Oh,
sorry. Please, I wanted to confirm something.
all right, Elizabeth, please just hold on. Let the Austin
Okay,
just.
my team, we are team now, group now actually. There is, I think we are three project designer, while the rest four digital marketing. The challenge now is, though we have our idea, we have gotten our project name, we are actually working on a bulk system for payment. Is kind of like a paper transfer system where businesses or organizations, you don't need, if you want to do a bulk payment, a bulk transfer to your employees or for your employees, you don't just need to go to the bank or do transfer one after the other. It's just for you to get an Excel sheet or wherever you have their data, just put it on the system and it sends everything. Though we are still working on the idea. The challenge is, I think two of my persons, digital marketers, one, according to him, he has not been around, he has not been in the classes, even most time online, he doesn't make himself available due to what he does. And the second person, I think she said she has system issue. She had a problem with her system, so she has not really been consistent. So the brainstorming and a lot of us really be weighing me down, because I also need, if there's a way one or two persons can also be assigned to that group now from digital product design, I would appreciate. Thank you, ma.
Okay, so your two product designers are not okay. One product designer is not available. The second digital marketer is also not available. So one thing is, you know that we have there's a number of students we have, and from the grouping I can see that it's 6% per group, and there are some
Yeah,
groups that have just 5.
artists out of that, like my group, out of 6 is just 3 or 3 of us there. One product designer, which is myself, and 2. Okay, the lady has joined. I just saw Anna. We are now 2, and 2 other digital marketers. So we are basically 4 active
Okay.
on the.
Yeah, because there are some groups that are 5 because of the number. So let's say we are 30 in class and they are given 5. So that means they have 6 groups. So they can't bring someone from another team to add to your team. So that's why from the first day we've been ringing it that you'd have teammates that would not respond. You would have them, it's normal, they won't respond. So if you're in that kind of situation, try to push it. So it's just saying that you're a CEO of a company. While the workload might be too much on you, you can't do everything. You need staffs. If your staffs are not available, or let's say all your staffs decides to resign at the same time, will your job stop? No, it's not going to stop. You keep pushing because you're the visioneer. So I think that's the mindset everybody on the team should have. With or without this person, life should go on. The project should go on. It's going to be a lot, I understand, but what you can do is try to put in the effort, try to do what you can do. In a situation where you can't build both mobile apps and website, you can't design both mobile app and website at the same time. You can just focus on mobile apps and ensure that the work is done. That's the mindset that will help. But saying they should add another, it's not possible for them to bring in another person because where will they see the student from? They had to make do with people there. So this is not just particular to him, right? Every other person. Sometimes you'd feel like your team members are responding. Some persons have 6 already on their team and they think they are responding. People should start the design phase or start the main project. Then you would realize that those people you think are responding would also not respond. They will now go back and start giving you so much excuses. All right, Bada, your hand is up.
I'm from Group 4. Yesterday we discussed about having a medical app where you can design an app where people can talk to a doctor, just like someone that talked about the other time. And we actually wanted to focus on mental health. And yesterday we also have a meeting at night. I think people are busy. Some people are working. So
Yeah.
we have a conclusion that after the class, we sent a message that immediately after this class, we are going to have the meeting. Because the medical this thing is very broad. We are trying to bring in other departments of the medical profession into it, where people can talk to a doctor anywhere in the world, not only in Nigeria. can be any part of the world. So that's what we are working on. But immediately after the class, we are going to talk about it and fix whatever we need to fix on time when time goes on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, sure, you can. So Elizabeth.
Okay. Good morning, Uma.
Yeah,
So I'm from Group 3, and in Group 3, we are working on building a logistic app. So we did a little research and find out that apps that does those logistics are not really common. So the most popular ones that people use are Bolt and Uber, which also doubles as doubles as hailing services. So we are working on building an app just majorly for logistics. It will cover both intra and interstate logistics, and then people would be able to see riders that are close to them, assess the time that the rider will come for their pickup, and the time that um, the package would get to their the person they are sending it to. And our target audience are business owners who has to send orders in bulk. So we came up with some features that would make our app stand out. Example, there will be proof of delivery. For instance, where the receiver gets his or her package, there will be an option for the receiver to sign off on. So the app is going to be like in two form, just like when we have both and both for riders and the one for the customer. So when you sign off on the customer's app, the sender gets a notification that the rider has picked up and all of that. So it is not just going to be like the regular bike for delivery. We're also going to have cars and vans for a lot of things, for like people that want to move homes and every other thing, even people that are maybe moving and all of that. So users will also be able to bargain with riders on the app. They can also be able to track their orders on the app, and so that's what we've been able to come up with.
Oh, okay. So that's actually a very good idea. I've worked on a project like that before. So it's going to be very easy to do it, to work on it, right? It's not like it's going to be very easy, but it's something that you can always get inspirations online, although it's difficult. But guys, all I want you to start doing now, right? There will be no time to now take all of the ideas. But this is what we can be doing. In classes, we'll just be taking few, and you're always free to ask your questions. Like you're always free to ask any question as regards to your project. All right, so this is the first stage where you mostly do your research, and the truth is don't just wait till don't just so you're three. As one person is doing research, another person should be looking at user persona, the next person should be looking at this, the next person should be looking at this. Before you know, by the end of the week you've done a lot. So from next week now, you will be able to focus on design. I know that this is holiday for us, but you can still bring out 1 hour, 2 hours of your time to just work on this, even if it's in the night, so that you don't get choked. Because for real, you get choked, you get there sometimes our classes would even would take few minutes of your time in class or presentation. All of those things can be overwhelming, right? Now that it's not yet overwhelming, I think you should do a bulk of the work with or without your team members. But before you do without your team members, ensure that you've tried to reach out and they are not responding. And then you can decide to take the law into your hands as a leader to do it. So another thing that would help you is you guys should choose a group leader. So when choosing a group leader, one of the things I tell people is choose a group leader from someone you know that is serious. Forgive me for using that word serious, right? All of us here, we are serious. But choose somebody that can carry the project. So what I mean by that is sometimes we are all humans. We can get so carried away or we can get so overwhelmed, and it's just the person that is close to us, or let's say our group leader, that can bring us back. So choose that kind of person, somebody that can tell you, okay, I know that the journey is far, but let's look at the brighter side. That's the kind of person you should need to somebody with a positive mindset. We all have positive mindset, but when we see those people on our team, we know them, someone that can carry it, whether there's challenge or not, so that this person can also, as a group leader, right, your work also is to be able to carry your team members along the best way you can morally. Is it morally? Is that the right word? No, carry them the best way you can, right? To be able to also boost their morale. Because some people would have light issue, but how you're able to handle all of those things, please, let's really get the best out of this. The capstone is like the important phase of this whole project. Like the access bank will be there on the day of the graduation. They'll come, they'll see what you present, they'll give you ideas, they would also give you suggestions on how to go about it. And the good thing is these banks also, they sometimes they have I remember when I went for my service, right? When I went for camp, we had these banks, they come to camps and they tell you that you should be able to come up with a business. They show you links on how to even get access grants, how to access loans and all of that. Sometimes if you're not within the circle, you won't even know that all these things are possible. So you never can tell, right? You might be the next Mark Zuckerberg from this program. You might use it to be cashing out. And it's a good thing, right? There's no job anywhere. There's no job. Or let's not say there's no job. We have limited jobs. Yesterday I saw something. A man posted that he needed an executive assistant, and he gave the requirements that it was on Twitter that the person should be able to travel, you should be single, you should be this, you should be that, you should have passport. And he received 2,000 applications on Twitter, 2,000 applications for executive assistants. The dude is, if you look where the salary was 400K. If you look where we have product designers that also apply for that job, and that's because we have limited job right in the country. So any opportunity you can to create something for yourself, try to venture into that. All right, guys, that's my advising time. So let's get back to what we want to do for the day. So today we'll be looking at wireframe, but before we move to wireframe, right, I want to ask, is there any question you want to ask as regards to user flow before we move to wireframe?
Yeah, Boma, we actually didn't finish up with the last class. We started the user flow. We stopped at one particular stage. I think can we continue from there?
So like I said, right, that's because yeah, I did it in class. Now, for a user flow, depending on the number of tasks you have, it doesn't stop there. Your user flow stops when you feel like there's nothing again the user will do, when you've covered everything. But what I do, some people they do it separately. You'd see user flow for onboarding, you see this and that. But like I said, at the end of the day, is to link it. So it's just like you going to Yaba, and you have different routes to get to Yaba. You can follow through mainland, that straight road, right? And you go and you get to Yaba. Now, if they stop you, let's say they stop you around Jibo, is that complete? Is the journey complete? No, because your target is Yaba. So even if they stop you at Jibo is very close to Yaba. You can trek Jibo to Yaba. It's not that far, but that's not your destination. So for user flow, you know where you want your users to land. You know the destination, or you know the end part where you want it to stop finally. So you can stop when a user successfully logs out of your system. So I use the app. and then I use it to do everything. Let's say for Bolt, let me use Bolt for instance, right? I register on Bolt, I book a ride, I wait for a driver to come, I'm able to chat with a driver, then the driver finally comes, the driver starts the ride, I am seeing the location on my, what's it called? I can see the route is taken on my map, and then when I get there, I pay. When we get to my destination, he ends the ride, and then I pay. So once I'm done paying, that should be like once I'm done paying, it can be that I can still be on both app. But once I remove what's it called? Once I log out, when I click on log out, I've completed the circle. So that's how you can do your user. That's where your user flow stops. At any point where the user needs to log out. So from when the user logs in to the different things the user can do, you get to put all of those things and use your diamonds to ask yes or no questions to know their position. And then you continue to do your different screens or different display that you can do. And then you get to the last. Remember that you start with stats, that's a circle starts, and then there's a stop or there's a logout. And that's when your user flow is complete. So it's more of a thinking process, right? You think them out. So as you start sketching it, you keep asking yourself this question. What are they doing next? Like I would say, what is the next? When you get to the point where your next is log out, then you've completed your user flow. So are we clear on that?
Yeah, crystal clear.
Okay. All right. So let's look at what wireframe is and how we can actually do a wireframe. Okay, so what is a wireframe? A wireframe is like a two-dimension sketch of your application, of your website, your application, your smartwatch, anything you're designing for at that point. That's what a wireframe is. So what does, if you see, a wireframe provides a clear overview of your page structure, your layout. It provides a clear overview of your information architecture, your user flow, your functionality, and your behavior. So what you are doing now is so Elizabeth, your hand is up. You want to ask a question? Sorry, I'm just saying that.
Yes, sorry. So the question I want to ask is the link we are supposed to submit. The first task they gave to us was to submit our ideation.
Yes.
So is it the link that we are to use to submit the other one that you were showing us, that is it that same link we are going to use to submit the ideation?
Okay,
Because
so
that's the only link on the
framework,
form.
yes, on the capstone framework, there's a link.
The only link that is there is also the one that is also the link that is on the 30th. I don't know.
Yes, yes. So there's a link on the framework, right? That link, or let me just send a message to Next Factory.
Okay, thank you.
Please, where are you submitting the ideation? Okay, so I've asked. All right, so I've sent all the message I want to send. So that's what a wireframe is. A wireframe is just the sketch or the initial sketch of your app. Now, what are you using to sketch this? Or what are the things that will give you informed decision? your information architecture, your user flow, and then how you want it to function. These are the things that you put in mind when sketching your when you're trying to sketch your wireframe, right? Now you can either do it on paper or you can do it on Figma, anyone you want. So for some people, right, you see that they come on. So where is that? There's something I was doing. Okay. So for some people, right, you see them that they will sketch it on paper. You see paper sketch, and then they'll snap it and put it back on Figma. That's what some people they do. Why for some people they just come straight to Figma to do it. Let's go back to remember that we have a guide. We have something that we are looking at for and how would we have things that we have designs that we're trying to get all of these things that they've done also to show that it's complete. Now, this is what I mean. For some people, you see them, they sketch their wireframe on paper like this. We have what's it called, drawing books or books that we use for wireframe sketching. I have a particular book that I use for sketching. You can use paper, you can use any of those things. So this book there's someone that came up with this idea, right, for product designer. So you just printed different phone frame, just printed different phone frame for people to be able to sketch. You want to sketch your wireframe, but you want to do it like an actual phone. You can use this paper frame. I've forgotten how much then they used to order it, right? And then you can see that this is now let me just explain what's the high fidelity. We have high fidelity wireframe, we have mid fidelity, and we have low fidelity. So low fidelity is the first stage. Now that's where you sketch most times on paper. In low fidelity, what you're saying is mostly rough, uh mostly the rough sketch. It's like the simplest point where you start, the simplest sketch of your idea. Sometimes you just get to sketch anything. You know when you want to draw, right? For people that draw a lot, you first there's first of all a sketch before you now start adding different things to it. And then the mid fidelity wireframe now it's you now get to why you still avoid colors and all of that, but you can now start making it look better by removing some of those things that are like distractions on it. And then we have the high fidelity wireframe. The high fidelity wireframe is when you can now add actual image, you can now start using your colors and all of that. But we are going to start from the mid, from the mid, right? Because low most times you just sketch. So I prefer to start from the mid. So for your ideas, right, for your capstone project, for some of you, you already know the idea, you already know what you want to do. So you can start drawing those ideas on paper. Start saying, okay, this is how I want it to be, so that by the time you get to the design phase, it's going to be really easy. So what's the whole purpose of wireframe? Remember that we always talk about the importance of doing a particular thing. One of the importance of wireframe is that uh, it keeps the concept user focused. So once you're trying to do wireframe, you're generating idea, it will help you to get honest feedback from the onset from your users. Another way is it helps you clarify the features and navigation. You get to now say, okay, this is what I want in my design. This is how this feature should stay. This is where this should also stay. And then it is very cheap to create. It is really cheap to create. So next thing I'm going to do, right? I think I want to use now another way you can learn wireframe faster is let's take a look at onboarding screen. I think I should go to Dribble for this. Let me just go to Dribble. So Let me see if I have a dribble account here. Okay. Sorry, let me complete all of these things. You compose with I must have username. As a designer, right, I hate this thing. I hate this security check. Okay, so guys, I think we'll just leave this thing, right? And let me just use another means to get what I want to get. All right, these are onboarding screens. These are different onboarding screens. Let's say we start from there. So, guys, what can you notice about onboarding screens that you've seen so far? What are the things you can get from it? Asking a question.
They usually have
The frames are always phone, like the frames are always phone sizes.
Okay, yeah. So they are phone size because it's a mobile app that we are trying to build, right? So it's always going to be a phone size. All right, so this is what I want you to notice about onboarding screens. They have they are normally, sorry, let this open. They are normally, they have images, they have text. So we are using it. There's a text, there's image, there's a button, and that's what you would always notice about onboarding screens. And then this first screen of any mobile app is called the splash screen. So put it in your head. The first screen of every mobile app is called the splash screen. The screen that shows you what's it called? The logo of the particular app that you're working on. It's the splash screen. So let's say we want to do a wireframe. We want to create a wireframe of ideal app. And let's say my app is a food delivery app, right? This is what I'm going to do. So one thing I did not show us on Figma is you can see all of these things we did here on Figma. I can decide to delete it and all of that. But there's something called page. If you notice, we have different pages. This is page 1. If I click on this, I'll see another page, which I can quickly create this page and say, this is my wireframe. Did you get it? So I can create, using this plus button, I can create different pages, and I can call this one my rough work or anything I want to call it. So once I open this, I'll see this. But if I want a new page, I can just come to a new page to start from afresh. Did you get it? Okay, so you can create different pages on Figma. You can create different pages in the sense that you can, if you don't want to, if you're done designing this, you can use this page to design as long as you want. But there's something about arrangements that I do, right? I can start my designs first, and then I just want to arrange it. So I'll use these pages. So for you to get pages, you just need to click on this. Once you click on this, you see a plus button. So once you click, the plus button is add a new page. If you click on it, you can add a new page to your Figma. So you can add different pages to your Figma. Now I can say, while that this is the rough page, maybe this is where I start from. I dump everything rough work there. This second one is my wireframe. Then this might be my design. I can still create more pages because I'm using the educational version. I can still create more pages and say this is my design system. Design system. So these are pages I am creating. So for anybody that I send this, the person will be able to see the different page that I have. So if you're looking for something, you know where to get it. If you're looking for wireframe, you come to wireframe and you see wireframe. If you're looking for real design, you come and see design. Then if you're looking for design system, you'd also come and see it. So that's how to create a page, this plus button here. So have we gotten it?
Yeah, please come again, please.
Boma, please, I'm thinking of, like, this is the first time I'm looking at that. The wireframe is giving me issue, and I just want to get started.
Okay, so the wireframe is giving you issue.
Yes, it's actually giving me issue.
So a wireframe is the sketch work. Remember that I said all of these things we are doing is you're trying to design an app or a website. This is what we've been doing from the information architecture to everything we've been doing so far. Our end goal is to arrive at this fine thing, to arrive at these fine screens. These are our goals, but we don't just start it. Now, wireframe, the difference between a wireframe and the real design is, for wireframe, it's more of sketch. I can sketch the house I want to live in, but that's not the actual house. We still need to refine it, to do all of those things to make it fine. So, okay, now let's do it. Let's use tailors, for instance. You know that there are some tailors that sketch their idea. They sketch it on paper. They'll tell you, okay, this is how they want this to be like. This is how they want it to be like. And they'll show you, you'll see it, right? Can you make informed decision with that sketch that they gave to you? Yes, you would already know how the how the clothes will look like. Whereas there are some tailors that they already have magazines that you just go and select the style. Now, the difference between the one that is sketched and the magazine is one is finer, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you want to bring it back to design, this is just take this as the first sketch you do for your mobile app. You want to try to build your mobile app or your website. How it is in your head, you put it on paper, that's it. You can see this one, looking at this design, you can see that this is the person's onboarding screen. Can you see what is there? This circle represents the image that he wants to put here. These are the three dots to show the different stage that it's in. This is the first content, second content, and then there's the button and skip. This is what is sketched out. Now from this, he now arrived at this.
Okay.
From that thing that is sketched there, this is it here. So all he had to do was to refine what he had there as sketch to the real design. So that is it. That's wireframe. And like I said, wireframe is a two-dimensional two-dimensional screen of your designs, of your actual designs. You're trying to just sketch. And we have three types. We have the low fidelity, which is the one that you use paper and pen to sketch. The low fidelity, you're just using paper and pen to just sketch out how you want it to be. And then we have the mid fidelity, where you're making it a bit fine, but you're still using black and white. And then we have the high fidelity. The high fidelity is your final design. After you've chosen your colors and every other thing you want to use to work on your design.
Okay.
Do you get it now?
Yeah.
Okay, Elizabeth, your hand is up.
Yes, I have a question. So if, for instance, you did your wireframe and you already start designing, and then maybe an idea or something pops in your head, can you always go back to the wireframe, or is it fixed?
Yes, so you know that I've been saying it from the first day that design is iterative. You can even finish your high fidelity and you need to change it. You have to come back to change it. At the end of the day is the goal is design things that your users will want. You might sketch something and this is what you sketch, but when you are not trying to do the high fidelity of it, you notice that you missed out on something or you can improve on something. You can go on and do it, sure.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so Ginika, your hand is up.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Buma. My question is this: you've been using a mobile app for your examples. Please, can you also include their websites?
Yeah, so to website wireframe. So I want to take it one step at a time, mobile, so that you know how mobile works. And then when we get to website, you also know how there's a difference between how you design mobile and how you design web.
Okay, thank you.
You know that your information architecture is not showing that this is just mobile. Your information architecture or your information architecture, yes, is not showing that it's just mobile. You can use one information architecture for both, but it's just different in how you design it. All right, so let's get back to Figma. So I've created my different pages. Now I want to start working on wireframe. First off, I can decide to, okay, so let's start from the low fidelity itself. Please give me a sec. Let me get my pen and paper. So that I will start from low fidelity, then I'll snap it and send on the group chat, and then would now bring that low fidelity into Figma to now make a mid fidelity. That's fine, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's
So
okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
okay. Sorry guys, I'm back. So for this, you might not be able to see my screen, but once I'm done, I'll just take a picture and send it back and send it on the chat. So let's say for instance, I want to start with my wireframe, right? And I want to start with my onboarding. So I can decide to now say, this is going to be my onboarding screens. Now in my onboarding screen first, I would draw a rectangle for instance. No, not a rectangle, let's say a phone screen. And then this is my first screen. So what are the things I want to have on the first screen? The splash screen is always that screen that has the logo. So I'll put it there and I'll say this is my splash. And then, so the way we were able to see onboarding screens, what are always on onboarding screen would have like a text for skip, and then we have image. So I'll say, okay, this is going to be my image frame. It's going to be scattered, right? But that's the goal. It's not supposed to be this. And then I'm going to write a big text here. And then I'll now say this is going to be like my small text. And what should I have again? I would have like 3 circle and then my button. So this is my first, this is my onboarding screen. So if I say I want to now go to what's it called? Because onboarding screen, once you get one, you use it for the 3. Sometimes you have 3 onboarding screens, you have 4, depending on what you want to do. Now let's say this is my login screen. What do I want to have on my login? I want to have a form. I want to have another form. Maybe let's say this is my full name. This is my email address. This is my password. And this is my repeat password.
Sorry, ma, I can't see your screen. No, I don't think.
Yes,
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
that's because I'm sketching. I told us now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is my button. I can now do my I can give my button a different feel. I told us that I'll be sketching on my paper. Then once I'm done, I would bring it up. All right. So I can now take a picture of what I've done so far. So you see what I've been doing on the group chat now. So okay, so that's it on the group chat. So this is how we start our design. Just basically sketching what you want to have here. So this is a low fidelity prototype or a low fidelity wireframe, just the way you have it here. Just the way you have it here where you sketch. You just start sketching the things that you would want for your registration. The last screen, can you now see all?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Now, remember that this is, so you can do this here or you can do it on paper. Now, another way you can do it, you can do the low fidelity. This thing that I just did, you can do it on FigJam too. So I can decide to open any FigJam file that we've been working on since. And then I say, okay, I want to sketch on FigJam, but it's more stressful. Remember that you have a pencil here or a marker, anything you call it, but it's more stressful. So imagine that I am drawing this just the way I have it there. But this is true. This is not tick. So let me look for a tick. Okay, this is tick, right? So I have this. Let's say this is my first screen, and just the way I have it, I want this to be my logo. Can you see that this is more stressful? Except you have a pen that you use on your system there to be better. But if instead of spending time to do it here, just do it on paper and then import it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I've done my what's it called? I've done my sketch. I want to now bring it up to what's it called? Sorry. I need to send this. So let me send this to my laptop so that I can import it in Figma. So I'm done with all of my sketching, right? I'm done with everything that I need to do. Now the next thing is I want to bring it to Figma to do the mid version of it. I just need to come to my image. Has it sent to my laptop? I don't think it does. Let me see, sorry. I'm trying to send it to my laptop, but okay, it's not yet here.
Yes. No, I'm not my expert. I'm not an expert. I'm working somewhere else. Atapapa. Atapapa.
So why is this not sending to my laptop now? So give me a few minutes to send what I have here to my laptop. Okay, so it's coming now. All right, so I have it on my laptop now. So for me to import it, I just need to come to my toolbar, place image. Then I would import what I just sketched down to Figma. So this is what I just sketched on my paper. It's on Figma, right? Now I want to convert this. This is my low fidelity. I want to convert this to mid fidelity on Figma. All I need to do is, now I'll now pick up my phone frame. Remember, pick up your frame. I'm now going to pick up a phone. So the phone should be iPhone 13 and 14. And then I have it here. The difference between this and this is that this would be finer than this. So because I'll be using shapes and all of that. So for the first screen, which is my splash screen, I'll just double click on the name and rename it to splash. My first splash screen, what do I have here? I have a logo in a circle. So I'll just carry my Eclipse circle and then I'll just draw and I'll put it then at the center. And I'll pick up my text and I'll write logo. Or sometimes I don't even need to put it in a circle. I can just do it like this, logo, make it bold, and delete this circle. So anyone that comes to see this knows that what I'm having here is supposed to be a logo, whether I put it in a circle or not. But because what we have here is this, I'll just ensure that I work with what I have here. So I'll group it, Control G, and yeah, often. So this is the first screen, right? Now this second one, all I need to do is to click on this and duplicate. We already know how to duplicate. So the next thing is I want to show my text or my text. So instead of unlike this, where I just use zigzag to show text, this one I will use the real text. So I'll come here and I'll reduce this to say 16, and then I'll make this regular. And I'll say this is my text. This is my text. And it will stay here. Now, guys, can you see the difference between this and this? This is way cleaner than this, but it's still the same thing. Now, the next one is I want to get my image frame, what I have there. What do you think I can use to get this image frame?
You are going to use place image. Like create a square for it and then you place the image.
I think we can use
You can use triangle.
a square and a triangle.
Yeah, so I can use a rectangle actually. I can use a rectangle to draw it. So after I'm done drawing it, this is what we have here, right? There's one more thing, the strokes in it or the lines in it. So I'll just pick my, what's it called? My line, you can see a line, and then I'll take from here, drag to the end of this. You can see it. So I just needed to take it and drag it there. And then for the next one, I'll do the same for the next one. Let me be sure that it's okay here. And I can pick it up again and drag the next part. Or all I need to do is to duplicate, Control D. And then once I duplicate, I'll come here and make this, is it a 90 degree? No, it's not 90 degree. What degree can I use? 180, no. Is it 280? Guys, let me see. Okay, it's like 90. So can you see it? Guys, are we together?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, we are following. We are following.
Okay. So it's just for you to use this, and what next can I do? I just need to group it so that I can reuse it. So I'll just Control G, group it, and that's it. So I have this already. We did not group well. So if you notice, the lines are outside of, remember what I said about being in the frame and outside of the frame. The lines are outside, so I'll bring it inside, and then I can now group this. I can group it. So once I group it, I can move it as one.
I have a question.
Okay, so ask.
What's the difference between grouping and auto layout?
So when we get to auto layout, right, you'd see, you know the difference. So for now, just take it as auto layout makes your work simple. You see that thing that I'm using to do Control G, and then looking at all of this. Auto layout will not only group the work for me, to also make the work arranged. So if I group this with auto layout, right, you see that before I group it, I'll ensure that this is at the center before I group it. But let's say I want to do this with auto layout. Please, guys, don't ask me how I will do it. But let's say I use auto layout, and this is here, for instance. I'll just use my auto layout. And then after doing the auto layout, I can now come to the auto layout frame and say it should come to so normally I'm just supposed to hit it to come to the center. I don't know why it did not work. It will just come to the center, and that's where it's going to be. I would not try to align. So using auto layout, it will just align it for yourself.
Okay.
Sorry, I want to ask a question. I don't know. Do you personally use auto layout?
Yes, and I'm going to teach us when we get there. So for now, I don't want to confuse you. Auto layout is a topic on its own. So for now, just do your Control G, Control G. I use auto layout for everything, even it will help you even in spacing. Have I answered the question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's continue. So the next one is my big text, right? Remember that I don't I'll just duplicate this one and I'll put it here and I'll say this should be my header text. This should be my header text or my big text, anyone. And then I'll pick this one, Control D, and I'll do the same thing and I'll say this should be my. So for this, right, I want it to have, let's say, 2-line text or 3-line text. So this is what I will do. I'll just right click on this and I would right click. Okay. So I'll leave that first. But I'll right click and come to plugins. And then I'll go to manage plugins. Remember that when you want to get plugins, you go to manage plugins. So I'll see Lorem, or I'll just say text, any text.
Hello, Boma. Please, how can we download more plugins, please?
That's what I just showed us. You go to plugin and go to more plugin, manage plugins. So any plugin you don't have, you can see it under manage plugin, and then you just search for the name of the plugin. So let me say I'm searching for text, AI, or write AI, anything. Okay, so I'll just use lorem ipsum. So I want a dummy text. I don't want something serious. I want dummy text. And I want it to feel like the app. So I'll just click on run. When you see what you're looking for, just click on run and it's going to open. So once it opens, right, you can see that there's no text for it to give me. So what I'll do is I'll just get to pick up my text too, and then I'll just draw a line and I'll say auto generate. And you can see that it has given me the text that I want. That's giving me the text that I want. So I'll just make it auto width and just drag it in. So this is the kind of text I want. But for now, let me remove this and I'll just centralize this to just show that this is my next text. So what's the size of this? Okay, this is 16. Not bad. So let me just do it like this. I just want to arrange this stuff so okay, so this works better. And then I can just use, you see here, I said this is text width. You can come here and see this is 19. So I'll just make it 22 so that it will have space between it. And then this is my next text. I'll keep it here and centralize it as usual. And I'll centralize this one too. So I have my next text. So what's the next thing I need to have? These circles or connectors or anything to show that I am on the first screen. So you can either use circles or you can use a rectangle like this, and in the rectangle, right, let's say this is 1. Now, if I've taught us auto layout, I would have just used auto layout for this. So let's say this is this color. This is the color of what I want to do. And then I will duplicate this, Control D, and I'll draw in. Okay, have I duplicated? No. So Control D, and then I'll drag in this one. And let's say I'll make this one to be black. So what will happen when it is so what I'll do is I'll just duplicate it into 3 and ensure that this covers it. So I'll just bring this here, and for this I'll just, if I know auto layout, right, I would have just, if I've taught auto layout, I would have just used auto layout for this. So I'll now group it, Control G, and maybe it works like this here. So this is it. Our next thing is my button. So I'll just bring in my button. Remember how I told us that you can make button. So for anything, just think what are the shapes or what did they use for it? So we have we have this, and I'll just say this is our button. 24. So I'll reduce this text to like 20, and I'll say this is our button, and then I'll Control G, and I'll bring it down a bit, put it at the center. I'll keep it up in a one. So practically, we are done with the first onboarding. So I'll just duplicate this into 3. And for this, what is it called? This is black, right? I'll change this color to this, and I'll change the middle one to black. Remember? So this is showing that this is on the next one. Then for this, I'll do the same to this, and I'll change the last one to be black. So can you see the progression? So that means if I click on next, it should go to this screen. The same pattern, but different screen. Looking at this, right? Looking at what we have here. You can see it. This on the first one, second one, third one, and all of that. Different pattern. You can see that there's a skip text. There's a text on the starting of my own at the top, but its own text is at the bottom. So it's just how it works for you. And now let's say I go now to now say I want to do my other screens, which are my forms. So I can just use this, Control D it, and I'll come up here and I would make this to be 16, and I'll make it to be regular. And then I can now start doing my form, and I'll bring this here, and I'll say this is first name or full name, anyone I want to use. Is it grouped together? Yes, it is. So I'll duplicate it, and then I'll say email. I'll duplicate it, sorry. I'll duplicate it, and I'll say password. I'll duplicate it, and I'll say this is repeat password. Repeat password, and then our button. So did you notice that while I was doing my design, or while I did this, I had to shade this a bit. And now that's because I don't want my button to be the same as others. So let me now work on that thing that I did. So I can now keep my button like this, and this should now be white to show that it's my button. Remember that everything we are doing, we are working with black and white. So that's what I'm going to do.
Hello, ma. Sorry, ma. The number of your screen, does it depend on your sketches?
Yes, depending on what you want to show your users, remember. So you can sketch 20, and at the end of the day, so I'm also being very realistic, right? Sometimes you don't sketch all of these things. So that's why you can just come to Figma straight and do it. So if you want to have 20 screens, you have to sketch 20. If you're having 30, you have to sketch 30. If you're having 40, you have to draw the structure for 40 and all of that. So you see that this is what we have here for sketch, and this is how it is for my for Figma Mid Fidelity. What's the difference between this and this? This is way finer, not the real app, but this is better than this. This is like a sketch work. Do you see that the lines are not straight? Nothing is straight, but this is straight and all of that. So is there any question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My
So that means
question.
for every
All right,
Yeah.
continue.
Okay, my question is for every screen you have to create, you have to do the sketch, then do the low wireframe.
Yes.
For every screen you create.
Yeah, that's if you have time.
Okay, ma.
Not
Good afternoon.
compulsory.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So, ma, my question is, how do you translate this? I think this is not English. Like I don't really get how you explain
Type
that.
it
And
yourself.
this
Oh. No, you
ma?
type it yourself. So is it about this you're talking about? This is dummy
Yes,
tech.
and the second one, the tiny line that is down there. The one that you
This tiny line is rectangle now.
uh, like how do you put the black there and this one in the middle and so
So what I did is,
okay.
sorry. So sorry, I'm coming. Let me just respond to this. All right, so this is what I did, right? I picked up my rectangle and I did the first one. After doing the first one, what I now did is I now duplicated it, Control D, and then reduced this. So after reducing it, let me change the color so that you know the difference. After reducing it, what I now did is, this is the first color, right? Let me copy it. So just copy it first. And then I had to duplicate this, Control D, the black one, and fix it in. And I did it for the next one. Then I closed this one. So I did not want to now see this one. I'll now look at the two and change the two to the first color that I have. So that's it. So after grouping, I will now group it. So after grouping it, if I duplicate it, I just need to. Now you see the importance of, if I use auto layout, this thing would be easy for me because I will just be using my arrow key to move. But because I did not use auto layout, I would have to do it one after the other. So
Thank you.
Okay. So that's it. So if you have question, right, you can unmute. Let me see. I can see questions here. Are you? Oh, okay. Guys, questions. You can ask your question. If there's no question, I'm going to give you the next 30 minutes to sketch on paper and make sure you import it to Figma.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, good morning.
I see.
How do you make the diagram to be four places?
How do I do what?
How do you make the diagram into four diagram? Into four diagram, yes. The pictures, how do you make it 4 or 5?
Control D.
Okay. And about the cross inside the diagram, how do you make that one?
It's a rectangle, right? This is a rectangle, so it's just the rectangle. Draw the rectangle and put any other thing that is inside line. So, but guys, right now, this is what I'll let you know. Before you start on your onboarding screen, go on Google, type onboarding screens. You can see different patterns. Know the pattern that you want to use. This is another pattern of onboarding screen, this short pattern. Please, who is that? Can you please mute? So this is another pattern of onboarding screen. This is a different pattern. This is a different pattern. Remember that there's no one way. You have different ways. This is also a different pattern of onboarding screen. You can see all of this. But just know that for any onboarding screen, you will have the picture, text, and button. So I want to see how you are able to come up with onboarding screens. There are mostly 3. For any website you see, if you open a new website now, you see it. It's always 3. So just like this. First off, sketch on your, what's it called? So this is just part 1. This is just like the first screens, right? We'll still do more, but I want you to sketch and import to Figma, get to this point, and then we'll now move to doing for our home screen. You know that there's still home screen, there's settings and other screens. So are we good? Can I stop recording now so that we can focus on that? Or is there any question you want? right, so for a website, right, a website is actually built differently from a mobile app. For a mobile app, right, we have all of these things, but for a website, we have different parts of a website. So the first one can be when building a website, these are the things you look into. So the first part of any website is what we call the nav bar. So we have the nav bar of every website. You will always see it at the top. You can design it as a breadcrumb. You can design it. It's mostly a link. So which website should I use now? Oh God, there's one website I used to like. Sorry, let me think of the name. Beacon. So the name of the website is Beacon. Okay, so let him open Beacon website. All right, so for every website, you have this part. You have the first part, which is the nav bar. This is where you put in all the links that you want to put in. Then, so this is a nav bar. So when you're trying to design any website, you have to think about the nav bar, where you put all the links that you need to put in. And then the next section of every website is this section that is called the hero page. Now, the hero section, can you guys see my mouse? From where you have the text, the pictures down, it's called the hero section. Now, for the hero section, right, there are things that you include in the hero section. Number one is the headline. Now, the headline is something that, you know, the way you have your onboarding. On web, you don't have onboarding. What you have is the hero section with the headline. Now, the headline is something when I look at it in 3 seconds, I should be able to understand what you do. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah. So your headline, so just like that's the same function of onboarding screen, just that for onboarding screen, you do it, you would use, you can put it in 3 screens. So the first one, you get to see what this page is about. The second one, you get to see what it's about. Then the third one. But when it comes to websites, you see that headline, that's it. Once I look at that headline, I should know what you do. Now let's take a look at this. Beacons, where creators come to make it. That is their headline. So I already know that it is a platform for digital creators, for people that are into marketing, all of those things you get. You can see they have link in bio, they have media kits, they have email marketing. So as a content creator, as a creator, you can use their platform. Okay, Toby, your hand is up.
Yeah, you said this thing doesn't have onboarding. The website doesn't have onboarding. What did you say it has?
The hero section. The hero
Okay.
section is what you have here. What you see immediately after you open the website. So which website can we call? Which website? I don't think Jumia doesn't have it. Okay, let me go to this website, Split. Oh, Split. I want to be using different websites so that you get to also see the picture. You know, unlike mobile app that I can type online and I would see. Yeah, I can still see on Dribble, right? All right, so you can see that this is different from this layout. We have different types of layouts, different ways where you do it. But this is what I'm explaining. On the hero section, you always have a little more, right? You can see that you have the nav bar. Where you see the nav bar, Then the next one is the hero section. Sometimes the nav is always embedded in the hero section, and then you have the heading. The heading is, like I said, in 3 seconds, I should be able to know what you do with your heading. So you can see Split, the best way to rent. Very simple. I already know that it's a platform where people can rent, can go to get houses. I want us to be clear because website is a bit complex than mobile app. You can just easily start mobile app, but when you get to website, you'll now be confused. So that's it. In 3 seconds, your headline should be what you can actually, in 3 seconds, you get to understand. And then you have the subheading. The subheading is what supplements the headline, right? It's like a brief description of what you do. Now let's go back to Beacons, where it's telling you sell your creator store, build an email marketing, do this with Beacon. And if we go to Split, it's telling you it's a complete this for landlord and this, list an apartment for free, rent this, rent that, do all of these things. So you see the 2 things that are very important in a landing page. We have the first one, which is the heading, the second one, which is the subheading, and then we have the third one, which is the call to action button. It's always there on any website. Just the way we see it from Beacon, this is their call to action, get started for free. What is Split's call to action? Their call to action is find a home. So there's always a call to action. Now these are like, this is the first, this is one, this is second. There are other ways. Okay, so that should, I should leave you guys to make your research on other websites and see how it arranged. Now you will see different types of website. The first one is the one where you have what's it called? The text, the header and the subheader. At the middle, sometimes with just color, sometimes you see them put image inside blended in it. Sometimes you see the one that the text is going to the right hand side, the left hand side, sorry, and the image is going to the right hand side. And then you see the everything, you see it like that. So different ways to design your website. Now the next one is, this is the call to action, header, subheader, call to action. Then we have the supporting image. So this is the type I was talking about, where you put the image inside of your design and put the text outside. You put the text outside. So are we clear on the first section of every landing page?
Yes, yes, we are.
All right, so this is how I'm going to do it, like,
I
right?
have a question.
Okay, yeah, sure, ask.
First of all, you made mention of breadcrumbs. What is breadcrumbs?
So breadcrumb is so this is how I can explain breadcrumbs. Let me go to look for it. So you know there are some links that you see arrows in the middle. So breadcrumbs UI, because if you type any other thing, it will show you another thing. So this is what we mean by breadcrumbs. This is a link, but there's always a slash or arrow inside. Have you seen it?
Yes. Okay.
Breadcrumbs. So you can do your nav bar like this, or you can do it the normal way. So
Okay.
let's go to Figma. I want us to be taking it section by section, because that's how we design a website. We design
Sorry, ma,
website.
another question.
Okay, sure.
For the hero section, is there like a fixed measurement, like a fixed size that the hero section should be?
Okay, yeah. So I'm coming to that, right? So for me, most times I use 100. So it can be more. So let's start by, first of all, picking up our frame. If you want to design for a website, like I said, you pick up a desktop frame. So I'm going to pick up the 1440 by this. So with this, I can do both my navbar and my hero section. This is going to contain. If you look at this, it's the same size on my screen. The navbar and the hero section is one. This is it. This is the exact size here. So this is going to contain, this is going to take both my navbar and this. So remember that we are doing just wireframe. So I'll just pick up a rectangle first and I would draw to this. So I like using 100 here, sorry, 100 for my navbar. So what and what am I supposed to have on my navbar? So the first thing, remember that we would always have a logo. So let me just pick up this and say this is my logo, Control C, and I'll paste it here. So if you have a text already, most times it's not advisable to rewrite them except you really need to. So let me say this is my logo. On any website, you see the logo by this side, and then I'll now pick up the others. Okay, Control Z, Control D. Let me duplicate it, and then I'll just pick it up. Oh, it's even here. So first thing, you would always have the home. There will be home, right? And then the home will be somewhere here. And then Control D, what should we have? Based on our information architecture, what do you think we should have here?
About us.
Yes, our imaginary information architecture. So what do we have here again?
Contact us.
Product and services.
Yes, products and services. Or I can just say
Yes.
our services.
Contact us.
Contact us, correct?
Blog.
Blog. So remember that I should not be more than 7. So I'll just do blog and that's it. I won't put any other thing. So I would arrange all of this, right? Remember how to use your alignment tab. First, you align it to the center. Second, you now do distribute vertical space. Okay, no, it's not vertical. This is supposed to be horizontal space so that they have to be equal, and then I will group it and move it. Now, what's the next thing you'd always see around here? You'd either see login and sign up
Login.
button. So I'll duplicate it and I'll bring it here. But this button is now going to be small. It's not going to be as big as this. So after this, the noise is the noise will be, you can help us by muting. So let me just say this is sign up for instance. Now there's one more thing I need to do, the login. So for the login, I don't want to. So I'll just duplicate this and I'll change the color of the login instead. I'll put out. Guys, no, if you need to answer a call, can you just mute? It's actually
Please, I'm sorry, I don't know.
So I want to duplicate this, but I won't leave these 2 colors like this. So for this one, I'm going to change this to black. Let me see the color of this. So this is the color, Control C, and I'll come here and I'll change this to the color. Then I'll click on the rectangle itself and I will remove the color and then add a stroke instead. So I've done this and this should be my, let's say, sign in. So now that we have this, I'll just need to arrange it based on what I want. So I would group these 2 together to make it one. And then I'll just push it. And so I would do this, ensure that it is properly aligned. And distribute horizontal spacing. And then I'll group it, Ctrl G, and I'll centralize this. So that's how I'll work on it. So we are done with our hero section. Now the next thing is, how do we want the other one now is to do the heading first, right? So this is the heading. Let's say I increase the heading to 68. I'll now say put your header tag here. So this is where my heading would be. And let me increase it to 80. So this is where this would be. This is where my header tag would be. So And then the next one is to get this, Control D. So I'll get this and I'll bring it here. The next text, right? Remember, and this should be, what's it called? This should be longer. So I would increase the size of this to 24. And what I'll do is I'll just ensure it's not going to be more than 3 lines or 2. But this is now going to be disaligned. So I can still copy this like this and put it here. And one more thing, our call to action button. Call to action button. And what should I put again? Control D, I'll put my image. I know that this is where my image would be. So this is the first method, or this is one way of doing home page. So this is the way I want to do it.
Sorry,
So
I'm lost.
You are, so where are you lost? Where are you lost?
I was trying to export what I did the other time, so I couldn't.
To export, you click on what you want to export, and you come to this part and you say export.
Okay, each.
Yes, but if you want to do all together, what you need to do is to highlight everything. Highlight all like this, and it's going to export as, what's that thing called? As a zip file.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
so you,
whenever I click on the export, it's showing me something 42 layers. So
yeah, that's what it will show you now. Once you click on export, you see layers. It will show layers. Export this, and you can just click on export splash.
okay. That's good. So I should just click on PNG, not JPG.
No, you don't even need to click anything here. Just once you click on export, just go to export.
Okay. Okay.
So is there any question? This is the first hero section, right? So now what I will do is I will reduce this a bit. I'll just reduce it to, let's say, okay, this is my hero section. This is my hero section. Let me duplicate it. Remember that the next type of hero section is the one that I'll remove this out here and I'll put this in the center. I'll put the header text in the center. And I'll put it at the center, right? For instance, and this would be here. And then this text would also be at the center. And then this button should be here. And one more thing, my image. So instead of my image to be, my image will now be at the center. My image can now be like this. You get? So this is it. So this is the hero page. Now, guys, should I continue or let's get this too? Hello? Even whose wish is my command.
Let's get
continue.
it.
Please, let's get this one.
Please, okay. So if I play it now, you just see as it's going to be. Oh, can you notice that I'm playing it and it's showing? Now, for you to play for web, right, you go to show prototype settings, click on prototype, show prototype setting, and choose the device to be known. So once you choose the device to be known, you can now view it.
Hello.
Hello.
What's the name of the page you are just saying? The name of the page.
The name of this page that we do what?
The one that you are just doing now.
This is we are doing a website, and this is the hero section of the website.
Spell it, please. Don't understand.
HERO, hero section.
Mama, please, this to play it, please do it again.
I should do what again?
Like to play, if you want to play what you've been doing, like to play it from the prototype that you just showed us now. I can see your cursor very well.
Okay, click on prototype. This is design, this is prototype. So as you click on prototype, you would see prototype settings. So once I click on this, you see show prototype settings. Just click on it, and then you'd see device. Then you change the device. If you're viewing from mobile, you change the device to the mobile screen. But if it's for web, you just change the device to none.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I swear I'm totally lost.
Please, where are you lost? Because I know that before I started this, I started with the explanation of how a website looks like before we arrived at this. Please, where are you lost? Hello?
Basically, how you started this, I did not join on time.
Okay, did not join on time. That's it. So must the website
And just for
be
this part. Just for this part.
So we are designing a website. This is a website. This is a website,
Okay.
right? A website is when you click on www.where-do-you-get-to. This is another website. And from what I told us, a website, we have different sections of a website. So this is just the first part of a website. If you type parts of a website online, you see that there are different parts. You have the navigation, you have the footer, you have the header, you have the headline, you have sidebar, you have social proof, you have search, benefit, blog, menu, body. You have different part of a website, right? So this first part, which we are doing, is the hero section of a website. So the first thing you see when you come to any website. And the hero section of a website has two parts, which is the nav bar and this second part. The nav bar, this is the nav bar where you have the different links from home, about us, that bar that carries those links. For instance, this app managers, learn, pricing, about us, sign up and login. This is how a nav bar is. Then the next one, it's the section that contains your header, your subheader, your button and image. Just the way you have for onboarding screen. Can you see that? I said the same thing you have on onboarding screen, that's what you have here. But it's just how it is organized, right? How it's organized. So so for this, the header is that it's that content that once I look at it, I understand what your platform means. Looking at this first example, we have what's it called? Looking at this, we know where creators meet. I know that it's a platform from creators. Look at splits, the best way to rent. So any content you're putting here should be able to explain your idea in 3 seconds. And then you have the subheading, the button, and then your image, just as you have it on your onboarding. Now we have different types of arrangements. We have this arrangement that's very popular. We have this arrangement where you put the header first, subheader, button, and then image. Then we have the third kind of arrangement. Now for the third kind of arrangement, this is how it is arranged. All of these things will still be in the center, but what will happen is you will first of all have the image cover everywhere. So the image gets to cover this place before you now put in any other thing you want to put. So So this is the image. I'm sorry, guys. So this is the image. And then you always have something to cover it up. Something like, let's say, another rectangle with a different color. Like this. And then this one will not be like 40% to just cover the image. And then you put all of these. These are different ways that you come up with a website. So this is where we are now. That's what we are doing. So are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
These different types, these different ways by which we can design a website, are there like some kind of standard that determines when we use any of this kind of presentation for the type of website that we want to do? Like maybe if we want to design something for a tech company, we should use any of these or this, or we can just decide on
So there's
whichever.
no standard. There's no standard, right? So this is how I do it. Sometimes it's based on what you choose. So there's a kind of picture that you would want to use that is related. You know that when we get to pictures and all of that, you also know that the picture you choose should be related. So there's a standard, there's a kind of picture you would want to use, right? And that picture would not fit in doing it like this. It will fit better here. I would use this pattern. If I'm mostly doing something for agricultural websites, I use this pattern. Because let's say I want to get something like a farmland. The farmland is big. If I put a farmland here, it might not show the purpose of what I want to do. So I'll always make it big. Let you see the farmland, see everything you want to see, and then I put the content on it. Just like, let's say, just like this now. You can see how big this burger is. If I put it on that small page, it's not going to go well. But like this now, it's better. So most times that's how I choose what I want, which pattern I want to use. And also, if I look at my competitors, also your competitors can help. If I look at the competitors and I see that they are following one pattern, I'll just follow that pattern too. So different things can just inspire your how you design your landing page. And another thing is you can do A and B testing. Do all of this type and give it to your users to select anyone they prefer works better. All right, guys.
Oma, please, I just got back. What's the instruction? Should we design this one?
Yes. Let's get the heroes page. Then we'll now move to the next page, the next section. So I'm not calling it page, section by section. Let's get the first section of a website, then we'll go. Because if I get to explain everything, except you want me to explain everything at once and tell you go and do it.
All right, sir. All right, ma.
So let me struggle for attendance too. All right.
Hello,
So,
sir.
Yes, that works.
yeah, so this is the first part of any website. Now, we have other sections, right? Remember that the end goal of a website is to sell your platform. Now, this is another thing we do. We can now include, there is the next part. So first, what I do is, for any of these that I have here, I have to represent them one after the other. So let's say I have about us. I'll come here now. So this is how you do this. When you have a screen, you know that a website is long, but this is short. So for a website, what you do is once you click on the screen, hold down your control key on your keyboard and drag down. Now, the reason why you're holding down your control is so that these things in it doesn't drag down. If I drag now, it's going to work because I don't have much things in it. But once you start having much things, it would be so for you to expand, just hold down your control and start expanding down. So now I have that first one, right? Now I want to do the other one. Let's say different section. I want to do about us. Remember that I'll just need to do like say an about us section. Say about us. You see something like this on most websites, and it is like this, let's say 36, and then you see them put their image here, for instance, same pattern. They'll put image at the right hand side, and then they'll put like a small content of what they are about, and then you see a button that would say read more or learn more. Now that's another way you can just start to get a full website. You can just start doing all of those things. Even our services, you list out few services and you put it down there. So this is what that's another part of a website. You can also have different sections of a website, like the benefit, where you get to talk about your benefit, what you've done so far. We also have the part that we call the social proof. Now, the social proof is that part that you see that people would always tell you what our clients think about us, or probably people that we've worked with. You now see different people's logo, or then it's like or testimonial. You have that part too attached to the website. Then we have we have features where you can, all our services is still the same thing, where you list out all your services. Then for some people, they have things like our, you see blog, you also things like contact us. So all those things, all those links you have there, you just keep doing it small. And this is also another thing you can add, which is called a success indicator, to show the number of companies you have worked with, the people that have done this, and all of that. At the end of the day, your home site should be worth it, worth visiting. You also have what's it called? The footer. Now, the footer is that part where you would get to. So this is a footer, the ending part of any website that has different link and social media platform. So that's basically it. So how do you get to do these websites? Now, these are all the parts. You now think, what do I want to have here? So for me, most times, I just do with what I have here, the home, about, and put them small on the website, then add maybe some other things that I would need. Sometimes you'd see on some websites that if you come to the ending part of the website, you always see something like this. You'd see a different section. So basically, it's how you just do the different section of a website. Now, the reason why I'm not going to do any other design. I'm not going to do any other wireframe apart from these that I've done, apart from the hero section. So, but I would want you guys to do your personal research, right? While doing your research, I want a complete website. Like I want a complete, when I mean website, this that we've done, a complete wireframe by Tuesday. So those other sections from our services, all you need to do is search online. If you type our services UI, I don't want to spoon feed you guys. So I want you to also find things yourself. If you search for our services UI, you would see how our services is always represented. You can represent it like this. You can represent it you can represent it like this. You can represent it like this, and all of that. So let me say it's about us UI. About us UI. You can also see how most people write their about us. And like I said, picture, content, then a button to read more, like that. That's how you see most about us. You can also go on Dribble, right? What I want you to do at the end of the day is be able to know this. So this link, I'm going to send this link again. Take your time to read it. I know that you have a lot you're doing at this point. Please, someone should send it on the group. But just type parts of a website. You can also go on YouTube. Let's say YouTube. Let's go on YouTube and let me show you something. Try to get knowledge, try to get it yourself, right? I don't need to replicate for you to replicate in class to get it. So let's say website, Figma. You can see it. You can see. Is this different from what I just did online? What I just did for wireframe? No, you'd see different. This is a different. Can you see this one? The one that it's the text that are top, then the image below. So it's the same thing everywhere. You can just look for anyone and just learn. You can, if let me type wireframe so that, or you can even do, this is it, wireframe and all of that. So just try to get these sections yourself from what you have on your nav, from what you have on your nav. Try to think of the complete section. Try to think of the complete website. So is that something that is going to be difficult for us? This one,
No.
everybody's. Have I said?
No, it won't be difficult.
Okay. So basically that's it. So let's use this remaining 10 minutes to answer questions. So basically around questions that you need me to answer.